Beautiful. Hello, everyone. This is our June jug for the business owners who build websites in Joomla. And we come together once a month on the third Thursday. Um, I'm going to let people in as I hear them, but we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go around the room and say hello, how long you've been doing Joomla, and what wonderful plans you have planned for the summer holiday. If you have any, share it with us. And then we have a great speaker today. Owen's come over from London, from England, and he's going to talk about some really great automation, kind of like a follow-up to the presentation he did at J-Day. Just a little bit more in depth, more specific. So thank you for joining us today, Owen. I might have Joe introduce you. So Joe, go ahead when that time comes. Thank you again for everyone who's been attending. I really appreciate your time and you add value to this meeting. And so it's so great to see you all. For introductions, we're going to go ahead and start with Joe, and then we're going to go to Robert.
All right. Yeah, I'm Joe. I'm from Canada, the other side of Canada from Tim Davis. I'm near Toronto. I'm in a city called Mississauga and been doing Joomla since 2005. And my plans for holidays, no holidays this year. I'm in the midst of a home restoration renovation project because we just moved here. And my son called it a time capsule. So we are modernizing a time capsule this summer, and that's my plans.
Wonderful. Robert, and then Tim.
Yeah, I'm Robert, and I'm from Germany. At the moment near Cologne. So I'm here in Joomla since Mambo. Um, I'm a long-time contributor in the leadership. So if everything is wrong in Joomla, I probably was involved. So you can blame me. Um, yeah, and all my plans for holiday. Don't get a sunburn.
I can't say that's my plan. I might already have one. Tim, and then Lisa.
Hello, everybody. Tim Davis here on the left coast of Canada. Um, my vacation plans. I spent so much time traveling in April and May, including J-Day USA. We just have a couple months here at home. Well, I guess there'll be some people to visit, and our grandson's coming for another visit, and that. But it's nice to just be at home and catch up on work.
Wonderful. Lisa, and then Anne.
Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Kaiser, joining from Virginia, just south of Washington, D.C., and been working with Joomla since '07, I think, '06, '07, somewhere in there. And summer plans, I'm very excited going to a resort in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic in July. I'm very much looking forward to it. Haven't done anything like that before. It's a big family vacation. There are 9 of us going, so I'm looking forward to it. Not all the laundry that I have to do before then, but um, being out of town, I will say, when you're a sole business person can be tricky. So at some point, we should have discussions on what other people do when they're MIA, like maybe you're on a cruise ship in Antarctica or something, and what do you do when someone's site goes down? Do you have backup? So anyway, that could be a future topic to discuss. Yeah, looking forward to today's presentation.
Wonderful. Maybe Owen can teach you how to automate you and make a robot or something. Anne, and then Sarah.
Hi, Anne. I've been using Joomla since 2013, I think, and my I and just appreciate Robin and Laura and everyone who was involved in J-Day USA. It was great. It was great. I'm looking forward to Owen's talk today. My vacation plans are I'm going to Alaska to visit my son who lives there. So really looking forward to that because it's really hot in the New York metro area today. So Alaska sounds perfect. Okay, thanks.
Sarah, then Paul.
I'm Sarah. I'm from Kent in the UK. I started building websites in 1997, then started using Mambo and then Joomla since Joomla 1. And I don't have any plans for the summer other than working.
You're going to be spontaneous, I bet. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Paul and then Owen.
I'm Paul Adelot. I'm from Middle Tennessee, nice and green. I live on my family's home farm, and our big plans are to get out on the little river that our house sits by and do some kayaking. As for vacation, being old and being retired, going on vacation is a lot more work and a lot more stressful than just staying home and enjoying what we already have. Most of you would enjoy vacation for what our lifestyle is. So I've been around Joomla since, I don't know, 1.0, I guess. Been doing web work since since the internet first came on the scene in big time. So it's nice to hear all of you talking. And Tim and I have rescued websites for Pat Vandenbosch, who formerly is on, but Pat has had some major back surgery, and so she's out for now. So we've gone through a lot of website hacking and so forth to get everything stabilized. So
Oh,
enough
I love that, since I'm sure you made the introductions and met her through this group or through J Day, and that's wonderful that you could come through.
And
Oh,
actually, just an FYI, the source of all of Pat's sites being hacked was that the server, every cPanel on the server that she was on ended up with a API token that got created by whatever the hack, however it got in. I think it was probably the main password that's compromised. So no matter how many times you clean things, the uh, the hack still had direct access to the cPanel through the API token. So it took quite a few rounds, but once we saw that, we just deleted all the API tokens, and then that stopped everything. So if you ever have a site that keeps getting hacked over and over again, just take a look in the cPanel to see if there's an API token. It might that I haven't seen that before, but anyways.
lessons learned. Wow. You guys were great to help her out.
consequence of it. The Path has lost two websites in her hometown, and I presume it had something to do with the websites being down for a little while. So it can be really difficult.
I bet. Owen and then Laura.
I'm Owen. I've been using Joomla since 2008. I came in just after 1.0, I think. I was using 1.5 and everything had to be legacy plugins. And my vacation, I'm planning on going to Edinburgh to do the Fringe Festival, which is a stand-up comedy festival. And then I'll be coming back to America for a wedding, which will be partly Native American, which will be fun.
That sounds lovely. Laura and then Ellen.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura Gordon. I've been using Joomla since 2005. For vacations, I'm going to be going with my husband. He owns a roller coaster camp, roller coaster tours. So I'll be going with him and I think 25 teenagers on one of the trips going to Canada. So I'll be in your neck of the woods, Joe, for a few days. Need to hit Canada's Wonderland. They have some new coasters.
Oh, you
But
have to make a date and let's connect while you're here, even if it's just a coffee.
I
Don't go
will
on the roller
absolutely,
coasters.
yeah, meet us at Canada's Wonderland. But yeah,
Canada's Wonderland.
I'll let you know, Joe, what our schedule is
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
we'll connect. So Robin, I have some like important things that are going on of different events. Do you want me to do this now or do you want me to do it after the introductions?
Right now would be great. That'd be-
Okay, I will. Okay, so there's a lot of, I'm actually running, I think there's, yeah, I just opened the link, 4 different things that are happening, all right, this summer. So number one, and you know what, let me do this one first because this one's coming first. Okay, so, and I'm just putting the links in the chat so everyone can get it. All right, event number 1. I am running an event from the Joomla user group team, and the purpose is to talk to all Joomla user group leaders. So if any of you run a user group, if any of you are thinking of running a user group, if any of you are thinking of adding a virtual user group, or if any of you are part of a user group that kind of went defunct, but you're like, how can I reinvigorate it? please come to this session. So it's on July 8th. Everyone's welcome to attend. So that's number one. And it's free. So that's on July 8th. Then the next event that's happening, those of you that have attended Joomla Day USA, we are doing, what is happening here? This one. Okay. So is that the one? Yes. So Carlos's session at JDay USA, he wasn't thrilled with a couple of things that came through. So he's doing a redo. Anyone that already purchased a ticket, you can come. Nothing, you just go to that link that I just put up there. The Zoom link for the event will come up like 15 minutes before the session starts. It's on June 27th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It will be exactly 1 hour. We're not letting it go for 2-3 hours to just chit chat. It's, pretty set on time. We will record it, and the recording will then get uploaded to the website. If you or any of your friends did not get tickets for JDay USA, you were under a rock. No, I'm just kidding. We do have the ability for you to purchase a ticket for just the conferences. And what that is, I think it's $39 US dollars. And what that will give you is access to the event on June 27th, plus access to all of the videos that were recorded during Joomla Day USA. If you also want access to the full day of code, that is $79 if you didn't already purchase it. So if you want to add that on and you want to do Adam's full day of code, or the Intro to Joomla class, which was myself and Todd, if you know someone that wants access to that, that is also $79. If you get the $79 and the $39, I think there's like a $10 discount. So if you didn't buy anything for Joomla Day USA, we're giving you an opportunity to come to the virtual event. So that's what that piece is. And then I still have two more. I'm trying to do this quick.
You're doing great.
This one is I'm really excited about to announce to this group. I am running for free a full day of Joomla coding. And this is going to be in New Jersey. So if anyone is interested in coming to New Jersey, you're welcome to come. I have room in my house. Olivier is going to be staying over. I mean, of course, you can book a hotel or something like that. It is not at the beach. It's going to be at Rutgers in New Brunswick. There are a few hotels that are like walking distance, whatever, but there is a train into New Brunswick. I can easily pick you up. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 bedrooms outside of the one that I'm in. Plus, we have a full downstairs with a couch and blow-up bed. So if I end up with I could have easily 15 people sleep in my house, no problem. So if anyone, I mean, it may be a little hard with the driving because I don't own a bus, but I'm about 15 minutes from Rutgers. So if you want to come, please come. So now, what is this day about? What happened was at Rutgers, there is a plugin on the Rutgers website, which was done in Drupal, that has a really funky effect. And when I looked at it, and of course I asked Olivier, I said, so what can I do to put it on our Joomla websites? We have 120 Joomla websites at Rutgers. And he looked at it, he's like, that's GSAP. That's what Sharad taught. I'm like, oh, we can do that. So we're going to. So I have put together a group of people. I have Viviana and Daniel are going to do the morning session, which is all going to be about creating a module override. And then in the afternoon, Sharad, God willing, everything is okay. The plan is, and it's not till August, so I'm praying we'll be okay. Sharad is going to do the afternoon on the GSAP piece, which is going to take that module override and just put it on steroids. It's going to be a very structured class. We're going to provide for everyone a specific Joomla website that you're going to build this off of. We're making a Joomla Salon website, literally with basic Cassiopeia. So that way we're all starting from the same spot. Whoever registers, again, it is free, will give you suggestions of what coding tools to use, and we will give you access to the server. So you don't have to build a server, you don't have to build a website, none of that. I want you to be able to just jump right in. It's going to be hybrid, it's going to be recorded, and that's being done by the Joomla User Group of New Jersey. So please register for that. And again, if you want to come in person, send me an email separately and let me know so we can schedule all that. And then the last piece.
What's the date for that one?
It is August 13th. It's a Thursday. Is it August 13th or 14th?
I have it in my calendar already. Wonderful.
Yeah, awesome. Mark, I saw you registered for it. I'm excited.
I am. Yeah, I was gonna do it in person and no, you sent me the virtual link and I'll do it here and I'll actually use my website and see what I can do. I'll just feel more comfortable that way.
Yeah, by the
I
way,
mean, if you want to use your own website, you're welcome to, but in order for us to keep the speed going, it means we won't be able to help you because your site will be different. You could do whatever you
But I'll
want.
have the recording to go back to.
Of course, yes.
Go
Now,
back
Mark, will you be coming in person or no?
I haven't decided yet.
Just
You're
email
right
me.
down the
Anyone,
street. You're 5 minutes away from me.
where are you?
Piscataway. The end of
Oh.
18. Right by the
We're
high
on
school.
Livingston campus. Okay, yeah, so you're right there. So anyone that's coming in person, I do need to know ahead of time because I have to get you parking access. Because you can't park at Rutgers at all unless you have a parking permit. So I have to figure out how to get that. It might cost $5, but again, it's minimal. And I need to get you Wi-Fi access under my account. So that I have to do ahead of time. So if anyone's coming in person, let me know. You can come with your laptop. If you decide not to use our servers, it's perfectly fine. Roken has volunteered to build all of the servers for us. So we do have a place to start off. If you want to use your own website, go right ahead. That's perfectly fine.
And what was the date again so I can look on my calendar?
It is because I have so many different dates. Why didn't I put the date? That was
by the
really
way, that link, the link you gave us does not have the date on it.
I know. I'm an idiot. I
Well, I
gotta
put it in
fix
my
it.
calendar
You are
as
not an
August
idiot.
13th. So that's what you told me a while
Here's
ago.
the I just sent you a link to the registration page. I'll update that page. So it's Thursday, August 13th at 9 a.m. We will take a lunch break, but you will just walk over to the yard at Rutgers in New Brunswick to grab yourself lunch. So nothing, we're not including food, we're not nothing, keeping it very simple. My boss said, yeah, you could use Rutgers site, but let's do it without fees. I said, okay,
I will
fine.
probably do it in person.
Yeah, great. Great. It'll be great to see you.
My other question was, you talked about the ability to pay for J-Day that you're giving us, but you didn't
Yes.
put the link to how to register for that.
So if you go to the actual URL, this URL, let me give this to you again. If you go here on there, it gives you, hold on. Yeah. On there, it says if you're not logged in, there's an option to upgrade. So if you click on that, it will take you to the registration to be able to purchase the access. And then you just log into the site. If anyone has any issues logging in, just send me an email and I can help you with that. The last piece, which drum roll please, we are going to Florida in 2026. We are booked. This event is going to be different than what we've done in the past. So for the past 5 years, we've been running these events at minimal cost. We've been very careful with cost. We wanted to make sure any event we say we're going to run, we are not going to cancel. We've run it at a shoestring budget, really, gotten free space and this and that. We are finally ready to upgrade. So this is going to be in a hotel, in a conference room, a real conference room at the hotel. I have to buy all of my food from the hotel. We can bring our own snacks, so I can do a little snack trays and stuff. They're letting me do that. But I literally have to, just so you know, just an idea, we have to spend a minimum of $2,500 a day for food. So I have to buy breakfast and lunch from the hotel. Normally, we spend $5 a person for breakfast and about $20 a person for lunch. That's now going to expand to about breakfast is about $20 a person I have to spend and about $30 a person for lunch. So basically, the reason why I'm prepping you is the costs are going to be higher. We again have done whatever we could to like hold it really tight, but we're ready. We're really ready. So no, it's not going to be $1,000 to come or anything like that, but it is going to be a little bit more. We are going to do the 3-day event again. We're going to do a similar format as what we did last year, with the full day of coding, the full day of intro to Joomla. We will have a space which fits up, I think, about 70 people easily, comfortably. And then when we split the space in half, we can easily fit 30 to 40 on each side. And they will just close the doors for us. We'll have staff working for us and this and that. So it's going to be fantastic. So Delray Beach, if you've never been, is it's on the east coast of Florida. It's about 45 minutes north of Fort Lauderdale, about a half hour south of West Palm Beach. It has a beautiful downtown. We are half a mile from downtown Delray, and it's just a line of bars and restaurants. You're all going to go a little crazy. There's bands, there's outdoor bands, there's Ruha. It's just a lot of stuff. It's just really, really fun. Plus, there's a beach, and at the hotel itself on the rooftop, there is a pool and beautiful outdoor area. And there is a beautiful bar, because all of us love to hang out at the bar at the hotel, right? That's going to be open late, not closing at 10 o'clock. And there are pool tables. So, like, it's just going to be so much fun. Think of it as your Joomla vacation. So all the information is up already, and the hotel is normally 300 to 400 a night. They're giving us rates at, I think, 169 a night. And you could share a room with someone. You can get 2 beds easily. The Aloft does not include breakfast, so it's not that type of hotel, but they do have like a breakfast area. But we're going to be providing breakfast, with if you're attending the event. If you're just kind of hanging out, you can buy yourself breakfast or whatever. And yeah, so I'll be heading down there a few days before with a couple of my little coworkers that are going to come help me with setup and all that. And my mom happens to live in Delray, so I'll be able to have a car and drive back and forth. But I will be staying at the hotel during the event. Any questions for JDay USA? Start saving up money, start booking your flights.
If I come, I'm challenging you to a pool table game.
Oh, I am very good.
I am so there, and my husband is a pool shark. He's like Ira's out of his mind with pool, but I'm only good at pool when I have a couple of drinks. So yes, after my couple
a lot
Coronas,
of people, actually.
Yeah,
like a lot of people.
We were just in Bermuda, and we played against this couple, and we won, not just because Ira happens to be very, very good at pool, but I held my own. I was kind of excited. So yes, I will absolutely.
I was taught by the mentor of Steve Miserak.
Very nice.
If you don't know who Steve Miserak is, you can look him up.
Very nice.
Well, we're gonna keep going on with our introduction.
All right. I am done. I'm sorry I just took over, but if anyone has questions, send me an email. But as you can tell, there's so much going on. So please come, and thank you. All right, I'm done.
I think we have Ellen and then Emmanuel. You want to say hello real quick?
I am Ellen Rothwax from Fairfield, Connecticut. I've been using Joomla since I think 07, 08. And I don't have any plans for the summer, but probably take advantage of our beach, which is like 5 miles from my house, and some local concerts and stuff like that.
Nice. Emmanuel, quick hello. And then John.
Hi, everybody. I've been around Joomla since before 1.0. I even submitted a name to the project that was forking into Joomla. And now, for those who don't know, I'm vice president of OSM, which is the organization that helps coordinate certain aspects of Joomla. And I'm now based in Paris.
Nice. Welcome. John, this might be your first time here, but we just say a quick hello if you want to. You need to unmute if you want to say. Yep, sure. Here you go.
I just needed to unmute myself. I'm John. I've been working with Joomla from version 1 something. I think it was 1.5 something. That's correct. I can't remember exactly. But for me, it's an on-off project. Sometimes I come back to Joomla. It's not the CMS I work with all the time, but many times I return to it for specific solutions.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming. I don't think I've missed anyone. So I'm Mark, did you come in after? Sorry.
I
Yes.
did.
Beautiful.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm new to Joomla. I started with 4.0 about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 years ago. Fell in love with it. I've done websites on other platforms, and I still do for certain clients because they don't want to pay the price. But I'm learning. I have a lot to learn, and I'm hoping to do some of that here.
Well, definitely joining a user group is a great place to go. Get on our Facebook page if you're not already. And then if you have any problems in between meetings, you can just post there. And there are a lot of people who are willing to help you get to solutions faster. You'll find it very helpful. My name is Robin Clapp, and I run this user group along with Joe Sunny, Richard Gosler. He's not here today. And Tim occasionally helps us out as well. And I appreciate all the help because I can't do this alone. Learned that from Laura. And she's the one who talked me into doing this user group a couple years ago after our second J Day USA. She said I should do a virtual one. And it's come a long way. And I'm very happy to be here with all of you. I've been doing Joomla since 1.0 as well. It's the only platform I build in. I will not build in any others. And I just decided if I'm going to be an expert, I'm just going to choose an expertise in one platform and stay up to speed with that. Today we do have Eoin as our speaker. He's doing a presentation kind of to go into more detail from the presentation, a brilliant presentation that he gave at J-Day USA this year. And Joe, do you want to do a quick intro?
Sure, I will. So Eoin Oliver from the UK runs a business called Square Balloon. I really like the name of that business, Square Balloon. That's pretty cool. He is a lot of fun in person when he comes to events. He's makes the social events pop, which is great, and he's earning quite the reputation for his pop. And one other interesting fact about him is he's the guy that pointed out that, hey, you should check this guy out. And he sent me a link to Watch Me Work, which was Tim Davis. So it was actually Owen that alerted the Joomla community at large, or at least me at that time, because I'd never heard of Tim Davis. Anyways, Owen is very, very good, and he's a good friend and associate, and the reason I'm here today is to see his presentation on automation. So, Owen, let's hear what you got.
I allowed you to share
Thank
the
you very
screen.
much.
So if you want
Great, great, great. And first of all, I'm very sorry for introducing you to Tim.
Oh yeah, and you said you're going to like a comedy show. Are you actually going to be one of the comedians?
Yeah, I've done like 8
Oh,
sets now,
that's
so I
funny.
will be one of the comedians.
hopefully it's funny.
And yeah, I'm glad my pop goes ahead of my automation skills. Cool. Can I have like a quick show of hands as to who will be like joining in today? Because it's not really that I want to do a show and tell, more of like a show and do. And all of you can take part in this. It's free to take part in. The tools I'm using are free. All you need is a Joomla install. It can be one that you already have as well. We're probably not going to break it. Famous last words. But if we are, then at least it's recorded. So is there just two of you taking part, or yeah? Okay, cool. Look, if anyone wants to, it's going to be something I go through step by step, but you all have the recording if you want to watch it otherwise. So let's share my screen. So first thing we'll do is we'll set up the tools, and then we'll try and make it work, and then everyone can tell me what the hell I've done wrong. So the first thing we'll do is ask you to sign up for airtable.com. If you go to the pricing, you'll see there's a free one. So that's all you're going to need. It's been working for me so far. I have got the paid version. There was a reason I did that. I can't remember why, but earlier on I tested it with the free one and everything seemed okay. So let's start with that and not spend money that we don't need to spend. So I don't know how to do this. Robin, what's the best way to do this so that I know everybody's done this part?
I will sit here and I will monitor the chat. So,
I tell you what, does everyone want to do a Zoom hands up when they've got this part done? So signed up for Airtable. So just do the try for free. It will offer you a 14-day paid free trial as well. If you want to do that, you can do, but just remember to cancel if you don't need it. While you guys are doing that, because I know not everyone is doing that.
URL in the chat for where you are right now. The Airtable.
Airtable, I can. Airtable, it's going in the chat. In a minute, we're going to need make.com. Make.com also has a free tier as well. I will stick it in the chat. And we're going to need a Joomla install. Joomla is also free. I'll stick the link in the chat. There you go. If you don't know what Joomla is, then you're probably in a bit of trouble. This is Laura's thing. What I will do is I'll talk to the guys through it. Robin, if you can keep an eye on it, everyone just does the hand up thing on Zoom. I know to move on to the next bit. I'll just show you guys Airtable. It's basically like a really fancy spreadsheet. When I set it up, it asked me what I was going to build, and I couldn't move on. And when I told it, it built this thing here, which is not what we're doing today. But I thought it was really cool that it just built it. So this is some sort of Joomla content manager with a content list and an SEO dashboard and a publication calendar. And I have no idea what it does. That's not what I was trying to do. But to start off, it asked me for an AI prompt, and then it made this thing. I had it on preview mode. This is what the client would see. If I take it off, you'll see that I'm on Interfaces tab. But actually, I do a lot of the work over here in the Data tab, which is just where you can see it like it's a glorified spreadsheet. So is everybody, you know, I'll log out of this one and I'll log into the main one. And you know what I'll do? I'll show you guys what it does first. So this is the Joomla website. This is the blog page. So the latest blog is this: elevate your portfolio and advance your career. So I'll just show you what this does. So this is my Airtable, and this is obviously one I've made earlier. And if I come to the bottom, what I do is I go to this section and I click on generate idea from a predefined list. I'll talk you through what happens when it does it.
Not everybody was at JDay USA, and I was because I was a monitor of your session. But maybe start by just going back. This Airtable, you're creating an item in the spreadsheet that's going to automatically.
Yeah, so I'm going to demo it now, and then we'll talk through it afterwards.
Okay, all right.
So let me log into my make.com as well, because we can see that doing stuff, which is kind of cool to watch. I'll go into my this. It's probably this one. Okay. So actually, you can see it's going along this green thing at the moment. So that's actually what it's doing. You might see it change and do other stuff as well as it goes along. So it's finished the green one now, so it might do something else. But let me show you. So I'll show you it from start to finish. What is this? Is that an error? No. So I changed this to generate full blog posts, and now it's gone away to makes.com. It's gone up to the top, and it's generated an idea using ChatGPT, and it's come back and said, like, here's the idea description. So exploring intersection of neuroscience, yada yada yada. So now we could do is we could stop it there, and we could look at it and say, yes, we like that idea, we approve it, or we could just tell it, just go ahead with the idea and make the next thing, which is what you can see. It's populating now where it has gone away and made some blog content from this idea. As well as that, it's come up with a blog title. It's also used ChatGPT to create an image. If we come across, it's come up with a slug, also known as an alias in Joomla. It's come up with an SEO summary, also known as your meta description. There's no publishing date yet, but that could appear at some point, and there's no Joomla ID yet, but it could appear at some point. So why it hasn't appeared? So the next thing that happens is I would click. No, I wouldn't. I'll click this. So if we go back and just look at the title, Unlocking User Experience is the title. So if I go to the stage and I find that one, probably at the bottom, is it? Unlocking user experience. So now I can see this. If I want, I can click into it. I can have a look, and I can see it's giving me HTML in here as well, H2s and everything. So that would work well in my Joomla article. Uh, for the purposes of this, I'm not editing it. I'm okay with it. So now I need to go over here and I drag it to it's approved. And now if I go to my content calendar, where's the bit that I need? This bit. And so now let's go to the bottom and I see that there's so this is on final record without dates, but you can also set it to do the ones that have been approved. Because it's been approved, if I now drag it to the calendar and I say, right, it's going to go on 8th of May, well, that's in the past, so maybe that's not so sensible, but and then I go to content to be published, and you can see everything here has been scheduled. If I go back to my titles here now, my published date has now been added in, and it should be going away and publishing it to Joomla. So this is Elevate Your Portfolio. What we're expecting to see is Unlocking User Experience. Let's see if anything there is there. Of course not famous last words. Let's see if...
Well, it did say published date of August 5th, so...
It says August?
Yeah.
No, but... Oh, right. So, okay, fine.
Oh,
Then another thing.
I don't know if that... Is that like...
I think it's May, but just to sanity check it, we'll go into the back end and look if it's there. Because Unlocking User Experience, so if we look for on that. No, Unlocking Career Experience, so it's not. Okay,
it's not unlocking, it's unlock.
Let's just copy the whole thing, shall we? No, it's not there. Oh, that's weird. I haven't changed anything. Should have done it. We'll have to troubleshoot that later or as we go through. But the basic gist is I didn't do anything much there. I just chose didn't choose a topic. That may be why. Perhaps that is what happened. But let's go through it again. So I'll because I can show you the make stuff happening. So I choose a topic first, which is what I didn't do last time, and then I'll go to generate idea. Now, if we go into make here, you should see at some point it's starting to go through this process. I wonder if it's in this view or if it's in this view that you see it.
So you use 3 tools. You use Airtable, you use Make, and Joomla.
Yeah, so we're using the Joomla API. So you need to have your API key set up and stuff, which we'll talk through in a little bit.
Okay.
Normally you see this populating, so I don't know if it's as slow or why it's not seeing it. But if we check back here, you'll see that it has done it. It's generated the idea. Because it's generated the idea, what it does is first of all, this was generate idea. It's automatically changed to generate full blog post. It knew to update that field and change it to generate full blog post. Because that has changed, it triggered another automation up here, which then goes into make.com again, create blog body, create the title, SEO summary, generate images, and then go back to Airtable and put the information back there. So if we wait a second, we'll see this suddenly flick up and populate.
And just a quick comment, for those who don't want to use Airtable, you can totally use Google Sheets, by the way.
Yes, you could. And I'll talk you through why I used Airtable in a minute. But yes, you could use a lot of things. Right, so there we go. We're seeing it populating. We're seeing it generated the title, it generated the image, it generated the content. And so, yes, so the reason this is different to Google Sheets, so we've got this is a grid, this is a grid. But if we look at the stage, this is a Kanban. So if we go back to the titles and just check what that was, harnessing emotional design. So if we now look on the blog post generated, harnessing emotional design is at the bottom. I now put it on to approved. this is something you wouldn't be able to do in Google Sheets very easily. Also, clicking on it and seeing this view would not really be so easy in Google Sheets. So this does have some differences. If I now go to my content calendar, we'll see at the bottom, harnessing emotional design. If I go to today, might make more sense. And then I'll just whack it in there. And then you see it went from the light green to the dark green because it's now scheduled. So if we look at the options that we have here, we started with generate idea. After it finished generating the idea, it decided to make its own generate full blog post, change its own status. Once it had done that, it went to blog post generated, and then we were able to set it to approve manually after we read it. Just a bit of a human thing. We could have not done that. It could have just been automatic as well. And then after that, we'd put it to scheduled, and now it's been scheduled. It doesn't go to published, but we could make it do that. It just I actually haven't done it. So let's just double check in case that one arrived because we did something different. It didn't. So there's something not quite right, but don't worry, we'll work that out as we go along. So the basically gist of it is we didn't do very much work, and it's generating blog posts on Joomla. The thing I would like to impress on you guys is how much should you charge a client to write a blog post for them? And if you were to charge them like, I don't know, back in the day when we had copywriters doing it, we would be charging anything from like 60 to 100 quid, depending on how long it is, or maybe even more if it's a long article or you got to do a lot of research or something like that. Well, nowadays we can do it in a matter of seconds. We could still charge the same amount and we could just be more profitable, or we could reduce our prices and be more competitive. I'll let you guys make your own business decisions, but the option is here for me to say to a client, look, I'll do you 5 blog posts and I'll publish them all to your website. I'll make sure they all have images and make sure they're in the right layout. And, you know, I'll charge you 20 quid a blog or something. Well, it's going to take me about a minute to do that. So it's a highly profitable thing you could potentially be doing. I'll also say that I haven't put a lot of work into the prompts here. Potentially you could put more work into it, and that might make you have a more SEO friendly or successful effort, because just churning out AI blog posts may not be the best for SEO potentially, although there'll be others that have more opinion on that. So anyway, let's get started. If anyone is following along, here's what you need to do. First thing you need to do is create a grid called Show All Titles, and you do it by clicking the plus button next to grid. So I'll do one just to show you. I've already got one, so I'll just call it 2, and you see it puts it there. I'll just delete this because we don't need it. Next thing you need to do is do another grid, so another plus button, and you're going to call it, this is called Show Series by Vertical because it started off about films, but you could do articles by category or articles by theme or something like that. See you guys later, the ones that have to leave, but it'll all be recorded. The next thing we're creating is the Kanban board. Again, you just click the plus and you name it. This is called Show Series by Stage, but Show Articles by Stage would make more sense if you're in Joomla. Then we're creating a gallery, which Show Series by Gallery, and then you could just do Show Joomla Articles by Gallery. It's just a way of looking at them all and kind of like a blog view inside Airtable, maybe. The next thing we're adding is the calendar for our content calendar, and we just call it content calendar. And then content to be published again is another grid. So if you guys are following along, maybe just unmute and say when you've done it, perhaps. It's not that difficult to do, but it's maybe time consuming if you haven't done it before.
I did get a few comments of people that say that they're going to pay attention to the meeting
Okay,
patient
fine.
and then offline just because they're a little slow, but
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine. I'll just talk through it then. And if anyone thinks I'm going too fast because it's going to be recorded, but just tell me to slow down, that's fine. So first thing we need to do is, all right, we've got our first grid and we need to create all these headings across the top. And the way you do it is actually at the end, if I just click plus, and it tells me like which one you want to create. So what I'm going to do is show you which one each one is. So the first one is called blog title. and it's just a single line text. You can think of that as like an input field, like a text input or something like that. And then the content theme, which is a drop down, and you can choose to color code the options, which is kind of a nice feature. It's useful, and you just add your options here. So you could add whatever you want. These ones are design, tech, etc. You can also generate the values with AI. So if I was to do that, I did it earlier, and it came up with things like because I used AI to start off with, it knew it was about Joomla, and it came up with things like Joomla news, what's the latest in Joomla, what's Joomla technology, Joomla developers, Joomla security, and all this other stuff. So AI can help you out with that. But if you want, you can create your own ones. And again, because this is the topic it's going to write about, it actually helps to prompt a bit if you're a bit more specific here. The next one is the hero image. This is a type of attachment. And all that means is it's going to get the link for the image, and it's just going to show it as an image rather than just showing the link. The status is another drop down. This is probably important to know which ones we have. So generate idea, generate full blog post. Blog post has been generated. Edit, which you use if you want to edit something and then re-go through it. Regenerate images if you're not happy with the image that's already made. Approved, scheduled, and then published. So you just have to replicate it, and it has to be a single select. So we can't choose multiples of this. We can only choose one option at a time. Next one is to get image. This is it's just open URL, and it's got a thing here. I haven't actually used this, so it's got the dummy URL in there. But if you want, you can put your make ID in there, and it will search pixels and come up with an image. Generate description. This one is a long text, so you can think of it as a text area rather than an input text. What was on that one? Well, that one's a long text as well. You can include rich text formatting. Editing is a long text. Slug is the formula, and all it does is it gets the title. So there's a regex here, which, you know what, I'll copy and paste it into the chat for everyone watching. But what I'll do is I'm going to release a thing which gives everybody a copy of this so that they won't have to rebuild this Airtable. They can just download it and stick it in, and it'll all be set up for them. And it does take a while to do, and it can be not just time consuming, but it can make mistakes and stuff. So I'll do that. I'm probably going to charge a small fee of 10 or 20 quid or something, but I'll give you a way to access that later. I'll also give you a way to access the make scenario, so you don't have to rebuild all of that as well. But this is just a regex. All this does is it gets the title and it replaces the spaces with dashes so that we can have an alias. SEO summary is a long text, which again, text area. Publishing date is a date field, so make sure you got that right. And then the date format, make sure you've got that right for your local install. And then the Joomla article ID is just a single line text. And I have got a link to page here, but this was originally a Webflow demo, so boo. And I've just left it there. But I don't think there would be a very easy way for me to get a link to a Joomla article, because you might need to know what category it's in and stuff. Which does bring me to another thing. I haven't actually included a Joomla category here, but you could do if you wanted to. Probably the easiest way is just to create a drop down like the status and write them all in there. But there might be a way of doing an automatic way where you call the Joomla API and generate that. I haven't gone into that. Mine just go into the uncategorized category, and I was okay with that for the demo. So now that's done, all of the other things you don't have to worry about. They all come from the same data, but they're all in different things. So this one, the only difference is it's a grid by vertical. So all we did on this one was we grouped them by field up here. So just the content theme. So they're grouped by, if you remember, we choose at the beginning which content theme to choose. And this one is just grouping them. It's just got this bit set, so it groups them by that. So it makes it easier to look at sometimes and see, oh, we've done loads of these posts, but not many of these, or something like that. The show series by stage, again, it's just stacked by status. And again, this one's just a Kanban. There's not much to it, but you do have to tell it, stack it by status, and then it will obviously put them into these headings, and you can just drag them left to right. The gallery is sorted by the status, but it doesn't really have to be be honest with you. Could probably sort it by date as well. Content calendar is just a calendar. What you can do is, if this bit is closed, go to see records, and you can choose what to have here, but you can set it so that it only has the approved ones there, because they're the only ones really you should be assigning a date to. The ones that aren't approved, you shouldn't really want to do that. And then content to be published as a grid, and this one is status filtered by the status that is scheduled. So it's on or before today, and it's been scheduled. And those are all your layouts, and all of these fields across the top, you don't worry about after you set up the first one. That's you done in this. The next thing is the automations. So if I look at the first automation, this one just says when a record matches conditions. So when a record matches the content themes and shows. So content themes and shows is actually this tab. So it's actually this whole table, including all of these different views. So it's saying when it's matching that tab, when the status is any of, and we've got generate idea, generate full blog post, edit, or regenerate images. If it's any of those things, then what it's going to do is it's going to get the record ID, and then it's going to go to the next step, which is the action to run a script. So it's going to use the Airtable record ID, and it's going to do this. Again, I'll stick that in the chat if anyone is playing along. All it is a very simple bit of JavaScript. It creates a constant with the webhook URL, which is just our make.com webhook. I'll show you how to find that when we get to the make.com bit. The next bit is a const just using a variable, the record ID, and it's going input.config and then open close brackets. Then there's a const response, and then it's await fetch, and then it's the webhook, and then the query of the record ID. And then finally console log response status. So it's a pretty simple JavaScript thing. It probably doesn't make sense to anyone at the moment, but all we're saying is if any of these turns into one of these statuses, that's when we're going to run this script. So go off to make.com and do stuff. So yeah, so basically what you see in make.com, we've got this router. And the router's doing stuff. If it's on generate idea, it's going to go down this route. If it's on generate full blog post, it'll take the second route. If it's on edit, it'll take the third route. Fourth route will be generate images, and fifth route is sending it to Joomla. So that will be when it's scheduled, basically. And now my thing's gone wonky, but if I press this button, it's more neat again. Next automation, when a record enters a view. So this is the data, and it's all in this one. These are the views here. So this is saying when it enters a view of the content and themes, and it goes content to be published. So this view, content to be published, it will only enter here if it's got a publishing date on it, and it's also status scheduled. So otherwise it wouldn't be there. So when that happens, it's going to run a script. Again, I'll put the script in the chat if anyone wants it. Again, it's just simple JavaScript. Goes away webhook to make.com. It gets a record ID from Airtable, and then it does console response, yada yada yada, and it updates the status. So last one, when the record matches the conditions, status is approved, and the publishing date is not empty, then it's going to update the record and say that it's been scheduled. And there isn't any JavaScript here. It's just basically going to know to update the record automatically. So these first two are the main ones. They go away to makes.com. And all it's saying is once it's generate ID or one of those, it's going to come here. The router will choose which way it goes. So I'll talk you through this bit. First thing is a webhook. So this is the bit here. You can go to copy address to clipboard. And this bit is the bit that we have in a script, in this webhook part. All it wants is this. So that's what we've given it. Just to show you kind of what it looks like when if you add a new one, it will it like makes great. It will just take you through and add it. And because it's a webhook for people who don't know, it's a URL on a site that's kind of listening for things to approach it. So when I go to that URL, if I go there and I send queries as part of the URL, so for those that like that's the URL, what a query would look like would be like first name equals Tim and last name equals Davis. So then when it gets to that URL, it passes the first name equals Tim and the last name equals Davis. So that would be what happened. So that's how it knows what to do here. Well, really, what it should be doing is encrypting that data. So it's like this could potentially be cached by Google or something like that, and then we would have, Tim's information in the URL, which we won't want to do. So it would encrypt it, which I believe it does. So it goes to that. In fact, it doesn't pass any information in the URL in this case. It goes to the webhook, and the webhook then says, right, I've been activated. I'll go to Airtable and I'll find the information. So it's connected with the Airtable API.
Yeah. So, hey, how are you?
Question? No. It's allowing me to choose which Airtable view I'm looking at, and it's allowing me to choose which table in particular I want to look at. And then I'm telling it. So when I do this webhook, when I initially asked me to listen for data, I then go and do the action. It sends the webhook URL over, and then this collects like all the data that came with it, and it puts it into a structure. And is there a way for me to show you that structure? Yes, there is. If I go back, so if I go to history, if I go on here, so all it sent was the record ID. So that's how we know it's not breaking GDPR or giving away personal information anywhere, because it's just a record ID, which is just a random number. So it hasn't got any information about me, you, or anyone else. So that's cool. And then when we get to the Airtable, that uses the record ID, and then that does come back with all of this other information, which could be personal information, but it's using an API call, so it's not sending it in plain text. So again, we aren't in any breach or risk of giving away information. So back to my diagram. So that's the information that's collected using the record ID because this is red, I know this is something that's come from the other red one, the webhook. So it's got the webhook's got the record ID, and it's going to use that ID in here for the Airtable. The Airtable will then have its information. Now this router, oops, keep doing that. How do I edit it? Well, the router is basically what it says. You click on it, and this one is saying, look, check the status, blue, so it's the Airtable one. Let's check the Airtable status, and if it equals scheduled, now this I have to type in myself manually because I know what all the statuses are. I could do that. You can see here the Airtable information that came through in this particular case. So this was the ID, this was the status, this was the URL, yada yada yada. So what I'm saying is, if it's scheduled, then take this route here. In fact, I will rename this. So our article hasn't been publishing. Our first thing we would do is check, like, was it scheduled? And it is, so we know that's not the issue. Again, I'll click this magic button to auto align things because I added something. So I've done that for every one. The status is generate idea. The next one is generate full blog post. The next one is edit. The next one is regenerate images. So all I've done is it's copying these in here. So you want to make sure it's spelled the same. You want to make sure that your upper and lowers are the same, just to make sure nothing is going wrong. First one is going to do the first, I don't know what you call these, node or whatever, and it's a OpenAI ChatGPT Whisper. So you can see it's got an OpenAI connection, so you have to add that. You can add your API key, organization ID. Once you've done that, it gives you your options. So you can do ChatGPT and O1 models, and it's decided to use this model, which is ChatGPT 4.0. Role is a developer system, could also be a user or an assistant or a tool. Please don't change it. We know this works. And text content is the prompt, effectively. So you're an assistant generating ideas. Now, that's not a super strong prompt. Please do come up with a stronger one. That's good enough for this demo. You could give it more information, like you're a marketing expert and you know everything about Joomla. Come up with some ideas or something like that. So message to the role is user, and the text contents again is the prompt. We're a design agent who specializes in yada yada yada. And then text contents of message 3, again the role is user. And this one, it's generate one idea for a blog post to fit the theme of, and we've got the content vertical. So if you remember on Airtable, we could choose which content theme to have. And because it's blue, we know it's come from Airtable. We know it must have come from the one before it because the ones after it is not aware of. And if you look when I click in there, you can actually choose one of the Airtables or the webhook as well because that was from before it. So that's all my prompts on that one. The next thing is it goes across to Airtable. And I've already got my Airtable token, so I reuse the same one as that. And I'm telling it which base to use. The base is what this bit is called. And then it's telling the record ID. Now the record ID will again be from, if I hover over it, you can see it starts blinking down the bottom. See the Airtable over here starts blinking. So that's how you know that's where it's got the ID from. And status is idea. And idea description is a result. So where's the result come from? Well, it's green. If we hover on it, we can see it's coming from ChatGPT. Nothing else needed on that one. The next thing that happens is some tools. What do we do here? Oh, delays for 30 seconds. Unfortunately, in make.com, the delay, the maximum is like 2 minutes or something like that. It's something that's not that long. So if you wanted to say, leave a delay and publish it the next day, it can't do it. There's a workaround where you would add a date into an Excel file or an Airtable or whatever you're using, and it would basically say, check this date and then do it at that day. So it's delayed 30 seconds and now it's gone to Airtable again. So the first one, it status was idea and it put the result in it. And the second one, change the status to generate full blog post. So originally, this didn't do that. Once it generated the idea, you could approve it. So if you wanted to leave it like that, you just wouldn't include this Airtable thing. I put this Airtable on there so that when it's, instead of being like, I've generated an idea, you tell me if you want me to go ahead. I'm like, just go ahead. No, so it automatically changes this to generate full blog posts. Because it's changed this to generate full blog posts here, this next automation was triggered. So this is looking for, what's it looking for? When a record enters a view, content to be published. So that probably somehow gets into that view, which will do the next one. Because it's generate blog post from this one, that then goes to here, right? In fact, that will be from the first automation because it's gone into here. generate any of these, then the automation triggers. So it was on generate idea. Now it's in generate full blog post. So this same automation is triggered again, and it goes up this strand this time. We're using ChatGPT again. We need to use the same connection. Don't need a new one. All of this stuff is the same. Developer system. We've got a new prompt here saying you're a copywriting system. Generate a step-by-step thoughtful blog content. Again, the better your prompts are, the more successful you'll be with this technique. Message 2 as a user, a bit more information. We're a design agency. And number 3, develop a full blog post based on this idea. Wrap paragraphs in HTML paragraphs tags, titles in H2 and H3 tags. So that's how we generate the HTML, which obviously goes straight into Joomla. Message 4, respond with a long article, multiple paragraphs. Again, this is using the idea description, which has come from over here. So it's not using the description that we made up here. It's gone to Airtable to look for it. So right, the description's there. We can do it. So if it was ever wrong, we could just change the description in Airtable and then change the status back and forth, and it would regenerate it all over again. So next thing, it's going to create a title. Which, it's a bit boring to talk you through it all because I'm sure you know what's about to happen. But again, you're a copywriting assistant, and now this one, let's get the description again. Use the title, and crucially, it says don't put the title in quotation marks because ChatGPT had a real habit of doing that. We don't want that in our Joomla article. Next one is to create an SEO summary. Again, kind of obvious what's about to happen. You're a copywriting assistant writing SEO copy, so we're telling it it's got to be SEO orientated. And this one says create an SEO description of the article, maximum 300 characters. Yeah, that might be more efficient. And do not put response in quotation marks. Again, ChatGPT has a bit of a habit, and you're putting in a meta description. You don't want quotes. And now you've got the DALL-E. So this one is like get an image, basically, create an image for it. The style of the image should be similar to a New Yorker illustration, so it's given it a styling. So if we go back and we look at the gallery, you can see that they all have kind of a style to them, which is quite cool. Again, the prompt's what makes it. Change the prompt to something you like instead, or make it technology based or whatever it is you want to do. So we've generated a blog body, created a title for it, created a meta description for SEO, created an image, and then we've gone back to Airtable. And in this case, because we've done all of that, putting the blog title in the blog title, we're putting the URL for the hero image there, putting the blog content and the SEO summary. And again, if I hover on them, you'll see where they're coming from. So they're all coming from these different stages. But because it's gone and done that, is it updating the status as well somewhere? Yeah, so blog post generated. Now it's gone to that. That will again trigger this very first automation because blog post generated is, oh no, blog post generated is not in there. So now it waits, and you go to this part and it's generated it, and it's in here, it's in this column. And as soon as you're ready, you can say, yeah, I've had a look at it. Seems okay to me. I will approve that. So this is adding basically this stage for me, is not needed. You could just automatically approve it if you want to. But if you want your customers to look at it first and approve it, in my insurance terms and conditions, it tells me I cannot publish something without the client signing it off. This is a way of the client signing it off, right? Now it's signed off by the client. We go on to the next step, right? Again, we could automate this if we wanted to and just schedule it on the same day or something. But you might not want them all on the same day, and you might want to say, actually, I'd really like it if they were spread out. So this one's today, next one's tomorrow, the next one's next week. Also gives you an idea, I can see one's there and one's there. If I go back, I can see, look, 2 are on this day, and there's some more. So I could spread them out in whatever felt comfortable to me and how I want my scheduling policy.
Oh, and I have a question.
Yes.
Part where you said you're looking at it and it didn't automatically get published. If
Yeah.
you're using AI to generate these blog posts,
Yep.
but you plan on like using AI as a way just to come up with a starting point, and then you're going to go in there and do a lot of changes. Can you do it in that spreadsheet and like change some sentences around or and then save
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Yeah, so I can, yeah. So like I can do it in any of the views pretty much. So if I'm in here, I can just click in and edit it. I can put it to full screen. I can just type some more stuff. Like I don't need to do it there. That's like kind of an ugly way of doing it. What's kind of nicer is when you're on the approvals view and you look at it here. And so right here's my description.
Together.
Here's
Okay.
my here. Yeah, so then you could, and this is like a H3. I can change it to a H4 or whatever I want to do. I can write in another bit if I want. Or if I just really don't like the idea, then the easiest thing to do is go back to the idea description and I just change this in any of the views I want. And then I'm going to change this back to generate full blog posts. If it's already on full blog posts, I'll change it back to idea and then change it back to full blog post, you know.
So it,
Or if I change it to idea, it's going to like regenerate it, you know.
yeah. Oh, okay. So it never
Yeah.
got published, but you've got some back and forth options and
If you want to, yeah, you can go back and forth with it. It's designed with that in mind. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think all of my clients would, but some of them are super fussy. But it gives them the option. They would just come into here and they would just click on it and go, you know what? I don't actually like that word. We wouldn't call it that. We would call it something else. Okay, change it and then approve it. No problems. Quite easy for them to do, right? It's not the thing is if I tell my customers to log into Joomla and put a blog, they'll say like I'm scared, I might break it. I might break the website you built me and I paid you like 7 grand to build that. I don't want to break it, you know. And we know that they probably won't do that, especially if we only give them front end access. But it's a genuine obstacle that they come up with. So this way they're like, well, this isn't the website. I can't break this. It's a spreadsheet. Okay, do it that way then.
but also like I think people just have a hard time getting started with ideas. And so AI kind of gets you started, even if like I have a hard time trusting AI for everything. So like it's
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
good to, kind of get you in the right direction, even if you're like doing like frequently asked questions or something. And obviously those answers can be very specific to your business, but if you get the ideas for the questions and then a starting point for the answers, and then you customize it to what your firm does or what your business does, it seems
Well,
like
I mean,
really
if I'm honest with you, you could probably tell it what your business does as part of the prompt. That probably how you could automate. But you still it still might be that like you're talking about something in the insurance industry and they use a specific term and this AI is not using that term or it's using an Americanism, which I hate, and we should be using the proper English, you know? Uh,
No, it's the
so,
other way around. It's the other way around. But by the way,
so yeah.
when it comes to AI prompts, it's really important to give the role as well of the person asking something of AI. If you don't give it the role, then the context, and then more specificity, you're going to lose out on a bit of that accuracy that is already elusive with AI.
Right, and that's what we're doing in here when we're saying maybe, oh yeah, it's just loading. So you're a copywriting assistant generating step-by-step thoughtful blog content. Maybe
Yep.
your copyright assistant who's an expert in Joomla would be a slightly better prompt. That's where Emmanuel's talking about that you could improve it. Or maybe your copyright assistant writing thoughtful blog content, copying the personality of Robin Clapp or something like that,
and
whatever you decide.
right, exactly.
Yeah, you can also be more specific about like the industry you're in because copywriting is as vague as, maybe
Yeah,
you're doing something for the medical industry, so you definitely would want to put that in there.
Gotcha.
loads of scope for that. There's also scope for you to add like several personalities and put them as drop downs in here. And every time you do generate content, I'll pick this theme. I'll also pick this personality. And then perhaps based on the personality type you choose, it changes the author in Joomla or something like that, right? There's loads of scope for this stuff.
Amazing.
Uh,
I thought we talked about on the fact that you shouldn't talk about the fact that you have a split personality disorder.
exactly. That's okay. I knew it would come.
So oh, it's you talking. I thought I was talking about that with my other personality.
So we do have 7 minutes left in the meeting, so I am going to
Cool. All right, let's crack on. So look, the next strand is just edit it. This is just if you've decided that you wanted to edit the article. So copywriting system, step-by-step
my
thoughtful
questions
blog.
for all about is yeah, like if you didn't want to just take everything from AI and just go with it, you do have the option of doing all those edits, right?
Yeah, and in this case, it updates the Joomla article at the end of it. So we haven't actually looked at that yet. So, Webflow ID, that'll be the problem. That probably will be the problem because it's Joomla article ID. So this will be the problem that's broken it. There you go, we found it. What'll happen is it used to be a Webflow ID because this originally was a Webflow demo that I was like, let's work out how to get it working in Joomla. I have renamed it and now it's saying like, what the hell? We don't know where that field is. So the way I would solve that is I would go back to here. This is a good thing. So I redetermine the data structure. So now if I come down the bottom, I'll pick an idea and then I will um, generate an idea. That will then trigger the automation, which will go to make.com. Make.com will receive the new headings on the top of the columns. And because of that, it will now understand the data structure and then successfully determined. So I press OK. And now when I go to here, this probably instead of Webflow ID, I would make it has it not found it? Still says Webflow ID. That's weird. Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe there's a way I have to update it so that it uh changes somehow. I'm not going to look into it because we'll get delayed. Um, but that's basically how you do it. Generate images is just looking at DALL-E 3. This is just like we already generated the image up the top. This is if you say I don't like the image, so then you're going to change your column over here and you're going to say regenerate image, and then it's going to go down this bit and it's going to say right, make a new image. Don't worry about the content. We're just doing an image. We send that back to Airtable. And the last one is when you've hit scheduled, it's going to come. It's going to create a new Joomla article. So again, we get all the content from here. This one's got the Joomla article. So yeah, it's going to come down here. One of the things it doesn't handle very well, just to point out, is it must have a category ID, and it won't check if the article ID has already been generated. So so how did we overcome that? So the category ID I just manually typed 8. That's uncategorized. Again, you could have them in here. You would just have to make sure that they reference a number as well, not just the text. And then, yeah, it's generating the ID when it creates the article. It makes the API call then. And what it does is it goes and finds the ID, and the ID is 80, but what it's done by hover on it is actually referencing the Joomla node before it. So it's checking that ID and saying, okay, just find that ID. And now what we're going to do is we're going to update the publish up because that wasn't one of the features in here. There was no way to do the publish up. I think they might have added it now after I was complaining about it. But if not, you have to do the second step. And once you do the second step, you're just making an API call. That API call is just an update because it's patch. So you're just updating the article. It needs to know what ID it is. You're getting it from the one before. You're patching it, so you're updating it, and you're just adding these things. This body still needs all of these things, annoyingly. So you still need the cat ID. Again, you could probably take it from the one before. The publish up we're getting from Airtable, which is the calendar when we drag it into place. And now when we do that, we update this record ID and we also update the Joomla article ID because Airtable was completely unaware of that until after we published it in Joomla. And then it will tell us what ID it published it as because it just incremented it by 1. And then we go back and we update the Airtable down here. And so it has the right thing. So if I look at, that was okay. And none of these are a problem because it's just creating. So, okay, I should check if it's got the right category ID of 8. But this one, we need to get the Joomla ID, and this isn't having it for some reason. So I need to work out why that would be. Well, I'm not going to do it on this call, but that's the problem with that particular thing. And that is it, basically, guys. And oh, so when you create your Joomla thing, probably I should tell you about this. You're gonna be using the Joomla API. You need a Joomla API key. I'll go into a new user. Just put a password in there. You have to be a super user, and then when you save it, now it gives you your ability to add a Joomla API token. Ooh, why? Could not see tokens for others than yourself, so you have to be logged in yourself. When you're logged in as your own super user, it will show you the token. You copy that over to mix.com, and when you're using the Joomla stuff, you will, when you create this Joomla connection, it will ask you for your API key there.
So is that simple? There's no install or anything for the API on the Joomla side? It's just automatic with Joomla?
Yeah. As long as you're using like the latest Joomla, you just need to generate this API token. You can turn it off, so if it's not working, there's a possibility that the API is turned off. But there's 2 API things. There's a web services Joomla token, and the web services basic authn, and a user Joomla API token. I just make sure all 3 of them are on. But they are a standard. You have to turn them off. So yeah, once you've done that, it will give you the
Généré
information
par
you need.
IA. C'est ma photo.
I think he's just saying great demo in French.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I'm sorry it's not actually done it. I'll find out why. On Joomla Day it works, so I've just tweaked something somewhere and that's caused a glitch, but I'll fix it and it will work. It takes literally no time at all to update as well. By the time you've switched the thing to scheduled or put it in the date, it's pretty much already on the Joomla site. It's so quick.
Amazing.
And just to show you what one looked like when you click in, oh, this one hasn't done it. It's a terrible demo. Oh, the images are missing. That's weird.
We believe
All
you.
right, well, the images were there on Joomla Day as well. I don't know what I've done here.
A really good presentation because nothing works on the first try. So
Yeah.
file an error, and then you can go into Mattermost, and then you can reach out to Owen, and he'll help you find it.
Yes. Yeah. By all means do. And probably if it's okay with you, Robbie.
So Adam did a presentation last month about doing the automatic backups and saving them in Blaze. And of course, I went and tried it, and I had some hiccups. I went in Mattermost, and he worked me through them, and now I'm like doing them on all my websites. So I love these presentations lately. I've been very hands-on, but don't get too overwhelmed. Go ahead and try it. If you have just a few questions where you get lost and you can't find the answer through watching this over, like get on Mattermost and reach out to all these great people who are there.
Do. And put this URL in, and you'll get some free emails with some extra goodies. And I will be making one of those emails offering to give you this scenario, which so all of this built for you and working before I give it to you, and this bit as well, all made for you, so you don't have to do all this. This takes like, by the time you set it all up and faff around and troubleshoot, you're into an hour or 2 or half a day. I'm probably going to sell it for 10 or $20, but it's a way of supporting me and it's a way of saving yourself time, which is the point of automations anyway.
Of course. We are over time, but if anyone's got any questions, we can go a little bit longer. Anyone?
Thank you.
No
Yes.
problems at all, guys. Yeah, reach out to me on Mattermost or any other platform you want if you need help.
Joe?
And for those who don't know how far you can take automation, and if that wasn't a good enough example, which it sure was, I did one for a client, which was 792 steps.
Yikes.
And
Wow.
you might think that's insane, but it also ended up saving her 650 hours a year. So
Yeah.
that's about 12 hours a week. So just to show you can do some very simple things, small things, and then you can do some really massive ones, and the effect can be very substantial.
Yeah, people always
And
say they're too busy to do this stuff, but after you've done it, you're like, wow, I wish I did it years ago. And like I
exactly.
said at the beginning, this could take you like 5 minutes to build like 5 articles. You know, I can schedule one article a month for the whole year in a like less than 10 minutes on here. And can I charge my client like, even $10 an article, right? I still made 120 quid in 5 minutes, right? That's still pretty good rate,
Yeah. You're welcome, Ellen. And I do recommend at least trying some small ones at first and getting that comfort level and seeing how, I mean, even just using the API for the first time. I mean, I haven't done that. Oh, I actually did do a database input, but I used a component. But like just starting to do that stuff is just amazing.
Yeah, it is, and it's really, really good that they built that API. I really wish more people would take advantage of it. There's a few good ways to use it. Also on my YouTube channel, there's an automation on using convert forms and then putting the information straight into your CRM system.
Oh,
So
okay.
you guys, which is kind of useful. So yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Owen, for a great presentation. I hope I'll see you again in July, and look for this to be posted in the next day or two.
Thank you guys. Reach out to me if you need help.
Beautiful. Can we, before we go, Tim, you want to close us
Yeah.
out? Some people have already dropped off, but please finish us out.
Sure thing. As usual, I hope that wherever this finds you, be it morning, evening, afternoon, or tomorrow, that you are well. Until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites and God bless.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Bye.
Right, Tim.